Tonight, we go beyond any other night before. The third night of the Halloween specials from the guys who brought you the other 2 nights of Halloween specials. But tonight is different. Tonight is Fright Night. Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode of Cult Film Review. I'm your host, Cody Everett. This week we are talking Fright Night, part of our October Halloween horror movies, things that we're doing, Halloween-type movies, horror movies also. So we're going to talk about Fright Night.
Your Hollywood system stole our sex and co-opted our violence, so there's nothing left for our kinds of movies.
I did not hit her. It's not true.
Klopex?
Klopex.
Klopex.
Up yours, baby.
Me and Bubba, my little brother, listen to you every night.
Where in the hell are we?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Here's my first question. What is there about Fright Night? Because I want to know this. I understand why it has a cult following. I get it. But what is there to hate? I'm just going to throw it out there.
Is this the start of a major circle jerk?
I don't want it to be.
I feel like it's going to be.
Okay. It could be. I don't know. It's not intentional, but it could just come out.
That's why I'm throwing the first pitch out there. I'm saying it. What'd you hate?
Okay. Hate?
Or didn't like? What didn't you like? What bothered you?
I think I don't know.
See?
Honestly, I just can't
See?
think of anything. You're right. You're so right.
Dude, it's so hard with this movie to come up with something that you don't like. It is fantastic throughout, in my opinion. I really enjoy it. The story, let's just talk about the story a little bit, right? We got it almost feels like it's going to be an atypical vampire movie or 80s horror movie. But then what do? They come in and almost I feel like they watched American Werewolf in London and was like, how can we do that with vampires?
Yeah, I could see that for sure. It's some influence, especially in the effects.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely in the effects. But I mean, and in the way the story is told, like Charlie, Charles,
Yes. Yeah, it's Charlie.
Charlie, yeah, Charles, Chuck, whatever,
Brewster.
yeah, Brewster. He's a very I love his character, man. He's crazy. He's insane because he's like he knows the truth, and no one will believe him, and they all think he's an idiot. And I just love that he is kind of like a bumbling fool a little bit. And he just plays that character so well.
Yeah.
You know? And the same thing with Amy, his girlfriend, is played fantastically. Evil is played great. Like, it's kind of hard to pick out someone who... Billy's probably the worst actor in the whole film.
He's not even bad.
He's not even bad.
No.
I'll disagree with you on that. I think Evil Ed is probably the worst until he becomes a vampire.
Oh, I think it's... no.
Right at the beginning of the way he is and the way he acts and how excitable he is, it seems a little...
He's got ADD before his diagnosed. People know that.
He was like a spaz.
I think you instantly like him, because he's a spaz.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not saying that a bad performance. It was like a good bad performance.
Yeah,
because it seems a little forced at first, but as soon as he becomes a vampire, it's almost like that same performance takes a different light. Like it takes a different life of its own.
Really, I didn't think his acting changed very much from one to the other.
It didn't.
It doesn't. That's what I'm saying.
It did go up a couple notches.
I'm saying
but
literally
not
putting him
much.
in the makeup changed the performance.
Yeah.
As where right when I see him in the high school, he's like, "Hey, Charlie, oh my God!" And he's just like freaking out. It's just like, dude, who talks like that? And then all of a sudden he's like, "But I'm a vampire now." I'm like, "Oh, that makes a lot of sense."
Yeah, you were
lot of
destined
sense.
to be a vampire.
I agree with you on that. I thought out of all of them, I did find him the most annoying, but he was also humorous.
Mm-hmm.
It was funny how annoying he was, but yeah, when I liked him so much more when he became a vampire. The craziness made sense. He seemed more creepy. Like he fit the character better. So yeah, I totally agree with you on that.
I like him throughout the film. I still think Billy's the worst, in my opinion.
He's just boring. Billy's boring. He doesn't really
boring.
do anything except be like the possible gay love interest of Jerry Dandridge, which I'm not that you're laughing about it, but that was kind of the intent. The intent was that they were a couple.
Yeah, he seemed pretty metro.
Who?
Billy seen Metro?
No.
Billy or Jerry?
Jerry.
Oh, okay, Jerry. I was like, Billy seems just like that dickhead next door.
Yeah, he does.
He's just like, hey, man, get off my lawn, man. He's that guy.
Never stopped
kid.
beating people up.
Yeah.
Hey, kid, what are you doing? Nothing. Yeah, let's keep it that way.
Exactly. He's just like little bully. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It's hard to pick this movie apart. So let's kind of just go through the pieces. Let's talk about the story. Big fan of the story here. Charlie's trying to make it with his girl Amy. You know, she's ready to go. And what happens? Coffin is being brought in next door. So that's where our tale starts. He sees a coffin being brought in next door right when he's supposed to make it with his lady. And
we should point out the reason why he's so intrigued is because he's totally obsessed with horror movies and that whole genre.
Yeah.
So it, he looks at it with closer than anybody else.
He's more
probably
aware
would've.
of it.
Yeah.
Here's one of my favorite parts, and it's definitely an 80s thing, too, is the shame into sex. The shame into sex was like so
What does that
80s.
mean? Like, oh, come on. You've been saying we're going to make it forever.
Jordan,
Yeah.
Amy, we've been going out for a year now.
Yeah.
When are you going to give it up? Like, it's just like...
I like they're having this argument,
begging.
and then the mom's just reading a newspaper.
Yeah.
Are you guys okay?
Yeah.
Is this a lover's quarrel?
Like, spat, yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
I mean, what'd she say? She's just like, I'm just scared, Charlie. And he's like, well, get over it.
Yeah.
We got some stuff to do. And then what happens?
He caught
Gay vampire moves in next door.
taken by the gay vampire.
But
oh my god, not even, dude.
no,
Like-
not even. Not at all.
He's like Mr. Cool, Mr. Suave, Jared
Yeah, he
Dandridge.
is. So yeah, the vampire moves in next door, and that's exactly what happens. Is he is a suave, debonair dude. Hot chicks start showing up at his house. Charlie is looking through the window when he's got some lady's breasts out and he's rubbing all on them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Director made the wardrobe department put ice on her nipples so that they were hard for that shot.
Oh, it's good to know.
That's
You
a
know?
factoid right
There
there.
you go. Take that one to bed.
Well, that's I you know what? I wouldn't have believed it otherwise. The scene, I would have been like, "Well, this is fake."
Yeah.
Yeah, guys.
That's obviously not
He
real.
really wanted to said method acting in there. Like, can we get some ice in here?
Do you think American Beauty borrowed that shot from Fright Night?
No.
Okay.
just shut
Just
down.
checking.
No.
But dude, that's actually one of my favorite scenes too, because that scene could creep me out a little bit because he just like looks up from her neck and like looks at him through the window and just stares at him the whole time. And
Yeah.
it's just like,
Doesn't he have like those long fingers at that point?
Yeah.
At that
too?
point,
Yeah.
he does. Yeah.
That's when you really get the clue that he's a.
Really? Is that the one?
That's the clue. That you could have been questionable about the coffin. Okay,
Yeah.
that could have gone anywhere, but the long fingers. All right, now it's a vampire.
He's just eccentric. He owns a coffin.
Yeah.
So Charlie basically figures out that Jerry's a vampire and basically confronts him and lets other people know. And then Jerry's going to kill him. He's going to kill Charlie. Right?
He gives him an out though.
Yeah, he does. He does. For some reason, he doesn't really want to kill him. I don't know. Maybe it's too much trouble. Be like, oh, if the neighbors go dead,
Yeah,
It's a
that's-
real red
they're
flag.
probably gonna think that.
it's either that or he's trying to like build a.
You think he just wants to be part of the neighborhood?
No, I think he's trying to build like I don't know what the term for vampires, but the witch term would be a coven. Maybe he's trying to build like
Oh, like a vampire
gaggle?
neighborhood?
yeah, he's trying to get a gaggle of vampires.
Yeah,
going.
but
So he doesn't want
call
to
it
kill. He doesn't want to
a
kill him.
gaggle.
He wants to convert him. He wants to change him to his
Well,
side.
That's kind of what happens though in the movie. He really because I thought he was, watching the movie. I haven't seen this movie in a really long time, so watching the movie again, it was kind of like watching it again for the first time. So when he starts, I thought he was going to kill the friends off, not turn them, and then he just starts turning all of his friends to destroy his life.
Yeah,
basically,
exactly.
Which I thought that's evil. That's good. I like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, we got that going on. But you know what, guys? We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. And when we come back, we're going to talk about more Fright Night.
Evil! Evil! Evil!
And to what do I owe this dubious pleasure?
The vampire knows I know about him. Or at least he will when he wakes up tonight.
What are you talking about?
I have a vampire living next door to me, and he's gonna kill me if I don't protect myself.
What?
Come on, Evil, I haven't got time to explain. Just Tell me what to do to protect myself.
Hey guys, we're back and we're talking about Fright Night. We're talking about the story in Fright Night. Where we left off, Charlie's going crazy. No one believes him, so he goes after the one person that he thinks will believe him, and which is definitely a Vincent Price ripoff.
But the best character of the film.
Oh, one of the best.
He makes this film.
It's a combination of Peter Cushing and Vincent Price's name.
So
Is that what it was?
Yeah, Peter Vincent.
Yeah.
I did not know that was that.
Yep.
I figured Vincent was from Vincent Price, so, but I didn't know the Peter part. But okay, so let's talk. Let's talk about Vincent Peter Vincent.
Vincent's Peter. Let's
talk about it.
Cushing Price.
He's a washed up horror movie actor who kills vampires in the movies, not in real life. And his character, the development of his character that throughout the story is it's good, man. It's just good.
He starts as
a coward.
Well, first you see him as like an idol, then you see him as a coward.
Yeah.
And then he like comes back and like proves that he's not.
That he's not. Yeah, that he's not.
He's also a desperate idol, which
he is
really great. I love it when he's just like, well, I have this film that's coming up and stuff like that. Well, I have $500. Okay, I'll come with you then.
Yeah,
like
right away.
Like
he always asks if they.
No,
want
I have a
autograph.
500.
Yeah.
I have a
First thing.
Yeah, the first thing. What's more important than my autograph? Well, my friend is trying to kill somebody. Well, I guess that is pretty important.
Man, what a saint though for some kids to show up and be like, my friend's trying to kill people, and you're like, I'll help.
For $500, not really a saint.
And he must not be
that's not
that
that
great of an
much
actor.
money.
How did the hell did the kids know where he lived?
I don't know.
You
Yeah, that was
they
the
just showed
strangest
up.
thing.
Like, hey, everybody knows where Peter Vincent lives. That motherfucker lives in that apartment down the street on.
Yeah, why didn't they go there before if they
Well,
because
because that town really is just as big as that street.
It might be.
That's it. That's as big as I don't.
No,
that's
it's not
There's
true
the
at all.
alleyways
Not
and
true
the
at all.
dance
But
clubs.
other than him being a movie star, he was also supposed to be the representation of like the local horror host that people had, like an Elvira type of character.
Yeah.
That you would just watch at like whatever 10:30 at night or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Like he had descended into that point. Like, well, I'm just hosting my own films at this point.
Yeah.
So he was there to convince Charlie that there was no vampire living to him next door, but turns out there is a vampire living to next door to him, and that's where it kind of takes off into vampires versus the kids. And I gotta say, for the most part, vampires are winning.
They're taking names.
They're doing some damage.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I'm glad you brought up the club part too, Chris, because the music in the club, fantastic.
3 songs, right, Mike?
Yeah, we counted them.
3 songs per scene.
Only in the 80s did they have like this thing. Okay, we're gonna do a dance. We're doing the whole song.
Yeah.
And another whole song.
Yeah.
And then when they
another
start
whole song.
fighting, another whole song.
Yeah.
You had to put in 2 music videos.
Absolutely.
Little credits at the bottom there, the
Yep.
bottom corner.
Of course.
So I think the story is a great part of the film. A great part of telling the story is the special effects. We got to get into the special effects and how.
Well, before we jump into that, I did want to say the thing that I think I love the most about the story is this story is totally based off traditional vampire and Dracula lore. Like,
Oh, yeah,
it's
definitely.
based off like the whatever it is, the Universal Studios like era of Dracula. So I think that's cool that they paid complete homage to that. So.
And I feel like they kind of also, but try to change it in like a hipness. You know what I mean? Update the story of Dracula into the 80s.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely feel that's the great thing. I know we're giving Roddy McDowall a lot of credit, and it's due, but I also love Chris Sarandon in this film. I love him.
Yeah.
He plays Jerry Dandridge. He is fantastic.
Oh no, he's great.
You can tell he's like this classically trained like theater actor, and they just put him in this role, and it was just.
He was the sex of the movie. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, but he's also just so. What's the word?
Maniacal?
No, it's like you can tell he comes from like a different era. Like you can tell he has that age quality to, like, you know what I mean? Like that. What's the word I'm trying to use?
He's solid.
I don't know.
He's solid. His performance.
No, I get what you're saying. He totally didn't seem like he fit with the times. I think is
He's
what
got
you're saying.
chivalry.
There you go.
Yeah, he's got like that weird class to him.
So
Like,
he looks like he's from the 80s, but somehow he doesn't fit.
yeah, he doesn't.
Like,
Like
he's
there's
just-
something too solid about him. There's something too
Yeah.
yeah.
Like calm, almost. He's just like he's got it all under control.
Oh
the
yeah.
time.
Of course he has it under control. He's been doing this probably a few hundred years.
That was one thing I wish they would have touched on is how old he was.
Well, we definitely know he has to be pretty old because Amy. That's the only thing that really alludes to how old he is when he says like, doesn't he look just like her? Which is essentially what Dracula with Nina.
That's true,
right?
Yeah.
That's the same thing. Like it's his long lost beloved, and then he finds this girl that looks exactly like her and says, "Oh my god, it's just like her." You know. So they just rip that off, but I mean, it alludes to the fact that he's got to be a few hundred years old, probably.
Yeah.
You know, because this is I'm assuming he's talking about a dead person.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into the special effects. Did anyone have a favorite special effect? Because there's a ton in this movie, and they're all good.
There's some great. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna talk about the death of Evil Ed.
Yeah.
That's probably the pinnacle.
Yeah.
Right. But you know what I also like? I love the jaws that they put on Amy when she vamps out completely.
Yeah, the wide.
All of them
wide,
have
like,
that. They all have that
yeah.
huge mouth.
They
and
do, but hers is like the friggin' Joker. It's like
yeah.
I think he was like kind of modeling it after he said shark mouths.
Well, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
and that's the one that's on the poster too. If you see it, that's that shot.
Oh, I love that the original artwork that they had for that. I always remember seeing that when I was walking down like the horror movie aisle as a kid. Like that box particularly like stood out with the cloud above the house.
Yeah,
and the nasty looking vampire in the cloud. It was just so good.
Isn't it the same basic mouth as Dusk Till Dawn? The vampires had in that.
Yeah, probably. Some of them did.
I feel like
there was what's his name? Jim Brown's character was like had
yeah.
that big like yeah.
Like how did that go again?
It was like
just like that.
His whole head looked
Now,
like a
special
critter.
effects overall in this movie are solid,
But
like beyond solid. They're fantastic. They're believable. They're gory. They're colorful. Like it fits the film. It fits like the kind of style of the film.
And and Evil Ed's death is if you haven't seen it, Evil Ed's death is probably the best as far as the effects go, in my opinion. It's kind of weird because they take that transformation that they're like their shapeshifters. Thank you.
Yeah.
And that he turns into a wolf, charges and gets stabbed with a stake right through the heart, but then the transformation back into a human is like heart-wrenching in a way.
Yeah, I feel like it gave me a feel like it was the reverse of American Werewolf in London.
Yeah.
Like that transformation, it's going in reverse.
Yeah.
Like he's turning back into a human.
Right.
And yeah, that performance, like Roddy McDowall's look at him, it's just, you feel bad for the kid. It's kind of like, oh man, dude, you're suffering.
Yeah,
Just put him out, dude. Put him out. And he just,
well,
just
I
hold
think
his hand.
I think he realized like this, an hour ago, 2 hours ago was a kid, and now he's dead because he turned into a vampire, and it wasn't any fault of his own. You know what I mean?
You know what I really love about it too? The part where it's right when he stabs him and the wolf goes over, and you see it like crawling on the ground, but like in a human way, kind of just trying to like you could tell it's probably a human in a suit.
Mm-hmm.
But the way that motion worked out, it kind of works in the way of it transforming back into a human. Like maybe it started with it's just like the physicality of it.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. It was just
I think
nuts.
Another death I actually like, and I think it rivals Evil Ed's is Bill's. His name Bill. Billy.
Yeah.
Billy.
Oh,
that is so cool because he just basically melts. Yeah. And it's fantastic. I saw there was like a couple of points where they used some of the effects actually from American Werewolf in London, because when he's like holding his hand up, his hand like stretches for some reason, like it gets really fucking long, and almost like just like that scene in American Werewolf in London, and then he just starts to melt. Like you start with green goop, and then for some reason sand at the end. I don't know what the sand was doing there.
I don't know.
but
Maybe
sands of time
maybe
dropping
he was
away from him.
deconstructing. It's like all the moisture comes first.
It was actually dead skin.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was dead skin.
I got
just
a like
piling up.
Italian like horror film vibe.
Yeah.
on that scene.
Definitely that melting part.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah, definitely. And how red the blood is, and
Yeah, it's just
The green
pure
goo.
color splash. Yeah, it's
Yep.
fantastic.
and that brings me to another thing that I want to talk about. Jan, what's the name? Jan, I can't remember the last name. Who was the who shot the film? Fantastic job. I just want to give Jan a shout out.
Thanks,
Thanks, Jan.
You mean like the cinematographer, the director?
Yeah, the cinematographer.
Okay.
The cinematographer, dude. The cinematography work in this film is just from the opening scene alone was fantastic.
You know, the one thing I will say, and this isn't not much to do with cinematography. Well, I guess it is. The lighting did kind of feel a little like a romance novel to me, like how I would imagine like the cover of a romance novel book to look.
I think that's done on purpose though, because you're dealing with sexy vampires.
Yeah,
I mean, it makes sense. The whole Gothic age where Dracula came out of was followed the romance period. People were getting sick of these romance beauty things, and they wanted to see a darker aspect to it. And that's where the Gothic era came.
Do you think that detracts from it, Chris?
in some scenes, but not enough to make me say I disliked it. But it was something that, like, in the way certain scenes were lit or the way certain shots were set up, I felt like I was kind of looking at like the cover of a romance novel or something.
As far as like with who,
just the composition, just the composition of it, like. Yeah, mostly
like the
Jerry,
shot in the window.
Jerry, yeah,
when he's with the woman. That I can see that.
Yeah, that's probably the more obvious one is that shot. But you know, I feel like the way it was photographed in general just kind of had that feel.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. I again was on the same boat of it felt very, the way it was shot felt very American Werewolf in London to me.
Yeah,
just
I mean,
it's just I feel like this is the American Werewolf in London for vampires, but in America. They don't take it overseas. They don't take it overseas. You know, they keep it at home.
American Werewolf in America.
Yeah, it's American vampire werewolves in America.
Middle America.
And bats.
And bats.
And bats. You know where
those effects at the end, like I thought those were actually pretty good of Jerry Dandridge.
Oh, as death. A bat?
As a bat, and then just blowing up and catching on fire and like all this crazy shit going on in the house.
And here's an interesting thing. You know where they got that bat from? The set of Ghostbusters.
Really?
Yeah, the librarian or something was supposed to turn into it, and when they screen tested it was too scary.
You know what it looked like? It looked like Gozer from Ghostbusters, the dog.
It was something, or maybe what? No, I think I read it was the librarian that they
That's
did.
That's fucking awesome. I didn't know that.
It looks like that. Yeah. It looks like Gozer to me. I thought that when I was watching it. It's pretty awesome. I thought that was really well done.
Yeah.
And it was like when it was attacking them, I was genuinely cringing because I was like, "Oh my god! If that rat, bat, like demon thing was like latching onto my neck, I'd be freaking out."
Rat, bat, demon.
You know,
just the normal day in the neighborhood.
You get a rat, bat, it's like a flying cockroach, but worse.
Hey guys, we're gonna take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk more Fright Night. We'll be right back.
You have to have faith for that to work, Mr. Vincent. Remember?
Hey guys, and we're back, and we're still talking about Fright Night, but we're going to rate Fright Night. Mike, what are we rating it this week since it was your pick?
Well, I really like Chris Sarandon's turtleneck sweater. I think it's an icon in and of itself.
Yeah.
And I think we should make that the rating.
We could do a whole episode on the sweater.
We could do a whole episode on the thread count, whether it was cashmere or not, and I think he would.
I don't think it was 100% cashmere.
Oh, you don't think it's 100%
I don't think it's
cashmere?
100% cashmere.
I hear that he doesn't do interviews unless you talk about the sweater in the movie.
Yeah.
That's what I hear.
When he goes to cons, does he wear the turtleneck?
Yeah.
Well,
I hear
when he's not at a con, he's wearing the turtleneck.
He gets really angry if no one mentions it because it was his turtleneck.
Yeah.
So if you meet Chris Sarandon, make sure you mention the turtleneck sweater.
Don't do that.
Find out if it's 100% cashmere.
Don't do that, audience. We're just
do that.
joking.
No,
then
do that.
Ask him.
Do that.
Ask him about
right into the show. Let us know.
Wouldn't it be horrible if we told our audience that and then they went on and they asked him and he started getting really mad about it?
Yeah.
That'd be fantastic.
It's only a sweater question.
based on that comment from Mike, I want everybody, if you ever run into him, ask about the turtleneck. Let's make this a thing.
Is he on Twitter?
Chris Sarandon?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, of course he is.
Go ahead and tweet him about his sweater.
Ask him about the turtleneck. If
Either
it's 100%
somebody's
cashmere.
on it for his behalf.
Put it on his Facebook. You know?
Oh, this is funny. Actually, I just turned on because I put this on Twitter. I tweeted this today. How many times do you think Charlie says Amy?
Oh my god!
The whole goddamn film is like Amy. Like I'm gonna go. The safe over under is 50 or 60.
There you go.
Make a drinking game out of it.
You could. Oh, you'd be dead by the end of it. You'd have alcohol poisoning by the end of that.
Think so?
Yeah.
Well,
how many sweaters would you rate?
Yeah.
This movie, Kyle.
Turtleneck Sweaters. I'm going to give this movie 4 Turtleneck Sweaters. It's an enjoyable film, a great movie for Halloween. I think it's probably one of my favorite modern vampire movies that takes a unique twist. You know, there's other like Bram Stoker's. You can't really put a candle to that one. It's just fantastic. But in terms of like putting a vampire into modern society or into a modern setting, it's great. It's probably one of the best. So 4 Turtleneck Sweaters.
4 Turtleneck Sweaters for Kyle. Chris, how many sweaters are you going to give it?
I'm giving this 4 as well. 4 Turtleneck Sweaters. I love this movie. I could watch it every Halloween easily. The effects are great. I love the characters. Like I said, the only problem I have was just it was a little romance novel-y, soap opera-y kind of lighting, but overall didn't bug me that much. I don't know. I would never not recommend this to somebody. I think it's a great, if you want to get introduced to the vampire movies, I would say this and Lost Boys.
Yeah.
And then you can start making your way into some of the heavier stuff. But Fright Night's good for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
You stole the words right out of my mouth. As far as I was going to put this right up there with Lost Boys.
Yeah.
It's neck and neck. Yeah. You could choose either one to be your favorite vampire movie.
We should have did a double feature.
We should have, because this movie is just, I don't know. It's great. I loved it a lot. It's one of those ones that you can throw on in your Halloween party. People are going to watch it. They're going to laugh. They're going to have a good time. You can play it in the background, too, and people will look and be like, what's that? So just throw it on, watch it, have it on at your parties, even if it's not Halloween. Middle of the summer, just throw it on.
Christmas,
put it on.
Yeah, vampires don't sleep. It doesn't have to be Halloween.
Doesn't have to be.
They're always out trying to kill people.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
Just a fantastic.
They don't
movie.
hibernate.
I'm gonna give this movie 4.5.
Wow.
It's almost a 5-star. It's almost a 5. There's nothing to hate about this movie. It's so good. All the way the comedy. It's got comedy, action, horror. It's got it all. 4.5 sweaters. Mike.
Yeah. I was debating whether I'm going to go 4.5 or 5, and I'm going to go with 5. I was going to dock it a half, but then I start before the show, and then I started thinking about it. And one thing I like about this film is that it actually has a weird commentary about actors and their fans and the relationship between them. Because the whole time Charlie really does believe that Peter Vincent knows how to kill vampires. Like, no one... at first I thought, isn't that weird that he doesn't understand the concept of acting and that people aren't really... But then I thought about it and I was like, you know what? No, man. It really does say something about horror fans and the love of these iconic characters, that these actors that play these iconic characters. So yeah, I'm gonna give it 5 turtleneck sweaters. It's just one of my favorite films. It's one of my favorite horror films.
There you go, 5 turtleneck sweaters. That's all pretty good reviews from us, guys. So make sure you check that movie out. Definitely check it out. You know what? We're gonna take a break, but when we come back, we're gonna play another draft game where we're gonna draft the top 5 heroes of horror movies. When we come back.
Who is it?
Me, Evil Ed.
What do you want?
Hurry, there's a vampire out here. Let me in.
What are we going to do?
What are you gonna do? Not me. Yeah!
Hey guys, we're back and we're going to do our Heroes of Horror draft. Top 5 Heroes of Horror. So let's get into that real quick. We're going to start with number 5 and work our way down to our number 1 heroes in horror films. We're going to start off with Kyle. Kyle, number 5 for you is...
Martin Brody from Jaws. He is the town sheriff of Jaws, and he's fucking awesome. I love his character. Good for you. You missed out.
Not on my list.
I like him. He's right from the get-go. He knows what the hell's going on, and he basically has to fight the whole town. And the town won't let him shut the beach down because of tourism. And it's just,
gotta make that green,
dude. Yeah, and he has the best scene at the end, and yeah, he's fucking great. I love that character.
Chris, number 5.
I was gonna say Seth Gecko, which is George Clooney's character in From Dusk Till Dawn.
Not on my list.
Not on my list either.
Not on my list. No,
I really like that character. I
Really?
think that he does a great job.
I don't even think it's in top 10. Don't even think it's in top 10 stratosphere.
It's Cody's opinion,
It's
okay?
my opinion. It's not, it's not a fact. This is what I'm saying.
All right.
Mike.
Are we all going to get yelled at for our picks really quick?
We might.
Is that what you're going to do? He's going to berate us on
'Cause I
all
feel
of our
like-
picks.
I
Hey,
feel
what's your pick? Wrong.
Because I feel like there's
What's your other pick? Also wrong.
I feel like there's only one number one. And we'll have
We'll
that
get
talk.
to it. We'll
Yeah,
get to
have
one
that
when we
talk.
get there.
Number
All right.
5.
Cool. Number 5. I actually went with Jaws as well, but I didn't go with Brody. I went with Quint.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, I just love his character. He says like just a grizzled friggin'
Yeah.
fisherman. It's awesome.
Not on my list.
Naked. Sorry, that's what I heard.
What?
Nothing.
Okay.
My number 5 is Ellen Ripley.
Boo. Sorry, I didn't know what. No, I didn't hear you. I just wanted to boo
Okay.
you.
Whatever you said.
Ripley's in my number 5. Dude, she's a badass chick that takes it to the house.
Takes it to the house.
Takes it to the house each and every time.
Yeah, she's good.
And plus, you got to put it in number of films. I'm putting number of films on this too. She's a hero in a lot of movies
Mhm.
Yeah.
for that series. So I give her the number 5 spot. Kyle, number 4.
Number 4, Ellen Ripley.
There you go.
Hey.
A little higher.
Ellen Ripley. Specifically, I'm going to say from Aliens, the second one. I know the first one is the more true horror, but she really fucking comes into her own in that movie and just gets that total powerful woman. She's just a strong woman in the film and just kicking ass and taking aim. She's fantastic. Facing her fear in a giant, loader exoskeleton machine. It's awesome.
Chris, number 4.
Number 4 for me, and I don't know if this is really a horror movie, but I put Lydia from Beetlejuice.
Okay.
Okay. I'll accept it.
It's not really a horror movie.
Horror
but
comedy.
I
I
guess
don't
it
know.
is for kids.
I was scared.
a horror
I was
comedy.
scared during the shrimp scene.
Yeah, that was
scared
pretty
me.
frightening.
It frightened the hell out of me.
All right, Mike, number 4.
Well, since we're doing Fright Night tonight, I went with Peter Vincent.
There you go.
Because I was gonna go with Van Helsing a little bit, but then I was like, you know what? This character is more. He's a little bit more interesting than Van Helsing. Van Helsing's just a straight hero. This one, he starts off like he doesn't even believe, and then he has to kind of become the hero.
Yeah, it's all. Yeah.
You start off that way.
Good choice, I think.
No, you see, I think 5 and 4 are up in the air, right? When you get down to 3, when you get down to 3,
Shit gets real.
And 2 and 1, it's gonna get real. It is. It's gonna get real. My number 4 is Ben Hesser. Is the main character hero in Night of the Living Dead.
Oh,
It's a good
yeah,
pick.
Ben, yeah.
Good.
Okay.
That's
He's
awesome.
fantastic. Just a great character. At the time, I don't think you would see somebody of his color in a power.
Not in a lead.
In a lead or as in a position of power like he is in the film.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, just one of my favorite heroes. Just one of my favorite heroes.
Very nice.
Number 3, Kyle.
Nancy Thompson from Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay.
1 and 3.
Not Wes Craven's New Nightmare?
She is in it, but it's not played by the same character. Well, it's not really her. It's confusing with the Wes Craven's New Nightmare. But she's strong, she's confident, she fucking that whole scene where she's booby trapping the house and putting gunpowder into a light bulb, it's fucking cool. And then she comes back in the third one and then teaches all his kids how to use their dream powers against Freddy.
That's how you do it.
She ends up dying in that one, but not before she, I think, stabs Freddy in the chest with his own knives, I think.
Yeah, go screw him.
Yeah, fuck that asshole.
Chris, number 3.
Number 3 for me is gonna be Craig T. Nelson from Poltergeist.
Nice.
Yeah.
Not a choice that I even thought of, but that's a good choice.
Yeah, I love Craig T. Nelson in that
So
film.
I love
dude.
just Craig T. Nelson.
In general.
Yeah.
Yeah, or he's the coach.
He's
so
the
whatever.
coach.
He's the coach.
All right, Mike.
Mine's actually Seth Gecko. So
You're number 3?
Yeah, I absolutely love that character, and
Too
I agree
high
with
on the
Kyle.
list.
No, he's always been in at least my top 5. He's just so cool, man.
Yeah.
His whole character is so friggin' cool in that, and I love George Clooney as an actor. He's great.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to catch slack for my number 3.
Let's hear it.
My number 3 is Ash from The Evil Dead.
Oh no!
Okay.
I feel like I thought I was going to get slack for the positioning.
It's a little low on the list, but you know,
a little low. What's your number one?
We're all giving away our hand right now.
I'm just saying, in my book, he's a solid character, great character. I'm excited to see the show.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Ash is my number 3.
Nice.
Kyle, you're number 2.
Number 2, R.J. McCready from The Thing.
Okay.
I mean, you can't fucking... No, I don't think anybody can beat Kurt Russell as a hero in any type of film. And then in this horror film, he's cool. He's a skeptic. Well, he's not really a skeptic. He's the one that knows what's going on. And he's just... He's skeptical of everybody around him, which just makes the psychological aspect of that movie work. So, I like him. Yep. Kurt Russell. He's a winner.
Chris, number 2.
Number 2... I don't know. I don't know if this really. I don't know if this belongs in number 2.
Second guessing is.
I don't know if this is. No, I don't think this belongs in number 2.
Oh
but
my
I'm
God.
still gonna say it.
It's from Hocus Pocus.
No,
you know
it's
it.
not. It's
Better not be from
No.
fucking Hocus Pocus.
It's Ashley Lawrence from Hellraiser.
Okay.
I thought she was.
That's
but
yeah, that's a little high on the list.
I
feel
think
it's
that's a little.
high.
It's too high, but
little high.
I wanted to squeeze her in.
I would have squeezed her in
You
as
could
an
have had an honorable
mention.
mention.
Yeah, that's an
Okay,
honorable
can I
mention.
change it? Can
Nope.
No,
you already
Can I
said
go
you
back?
too.
Can I go
That's not how
back?
draft works.
Yeah.
Once you draft, you're done. She's on
Done.
your team.
Okay, good. I think she would kick some ass.
You can't give them back.
No, she
You
battled
we might be
demons
able to
from
talk
hell.
about
Are you
trades. We
kidding
might be able
me?
to talk about trades, but not right now.
Mike, you're number 2.
Ellen Ripley, for all the reasons we already mentioned. Let's
Yep.
just
Solid
Great
number
character.
2.
Yeah.
Number 2. My number 2 is going to be Nancy.
Nancy, nice.
Yep, that's my number 2. Just iconic character. I mean, she fights Freddy. Come on.
she fights Freddy.
Come on.
She's the train warrior.
All right, Kyle, here it is. Here it is. You hear that drum roll? There it is. You hear that drum roll? Kyle, who's your number 1?
Ash from Evil Dead.
Saw that coming a mile away.
You know what? He's like you said. He's a solid hero. I love that he's just such a buffoon.
Yeah, he's
but
kind of clumsy.
He's clumsy, but then he has just moments of greatness.
And he's always a true hero. You know what I mean?
What other heroes take time to construct crosses for the deceased?
There you go.
That takes a lot of time. It's a lot of effort.
Chris, who's your number 1 that shouldn't be on your list?
I
the
can't wait.
dog from Turner and Hooch.
I can't wait to hear your number 1. You've been
I
talking
know.
up so hard. It better be good. All right, Dr. Loomis is my number 1 from
Nice.
Halloween.
Cool.
Okay.
Very cool.
Any of the Halloweens, really. Donald Pleasance is great.
Yep. That's a good choice.
All right, Mike.
Ash from Evil Dead.
Wow.
He's great. He's great. I mean, he's such a hero. You know, he's like an asshat with a heart.
He's the everyman.
Kind of.
He's the
He just goes, whatever. What can I say? Done.
Yeah,
Done.
I can't believe no one's
Number 1
is my number 1. I feel
Can
like
I swap my number 2 for your number 1?
No,
No.
you can't swap shit.
You can't swap. But it's not a trade. What is not a trade
I feel like-
organization?
Trade. The draft
Okay?
is still happening.
Okay,
Trades are
okay.
after.
Chris was close. It's Laurie Strode, man. Number
Oh.
1, hands
Ah.
down. Dude, she's been alive forever. She was alive forever. It took her forever to die.
H2O, she's pretty good.
Like, it took forever for her to die. Think about how long she lasted as a hero.
I know. Okay. I don't think there's anything
Like,
wrong with your
dude,
pick.
He's just
Six-
getting angry.
100
Yeah.
films. She made it.
Sorry, she didn't make my list.
Because your list is wrong.
Can I put Laurie Strode as number 2?
No, you can't do
Okay.
shit. You're
wrong.
done. You're done. You picked wrong.
How
Okay.
can
Oh,
you
I
not-
think I picked right,
How
actually.
did you not?
You're
even
gonna
put-
find
How
out.
did you not put Laurie Strode on your list
I just
at all? Is she even anyone's honorable mention?
It was the obvious.
she's not
it was
mine.
the
I haven't-
obvious
I haven't
pick.
Do we
mention.
want to go around and do honorable mentions?
Does anyone have an honorable?
I
mention?
do.
I
Yeah.
do.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
All right, throw it out.
All right, Tommy Jarvis. Fucking Friday. Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
He's the kid who kills Jason and then inadvertently
Corey
brings
Feldman?
him back to life
Oh, okay.
and then kills him again. It's fucking he's cool.
Laurie Strode.
Oh yeah, you fucking boy.
That's my honorable mention.
She's got to be, dude. She
Just-
she grows up. How many of the kids grow up? Not all of them. Most of them are dead.
There's a couple
She doesn't
that
have
didn't
much
grow
of a
up.
life because she's in hiding.
She makes it to her 40s.
Yeah, hiding in a hole.
In a hole.
In a hole, she was in a town.
Yeah,
The whole
nobody knows who
town.
she is.
Protected by LL Cool J.
Yeah.
Duh.
These guys getting passionate about H2O over here.
She was
Yeah,
like the
right.
head of a private school. Or
Because, dude, no, if anyone needed to die, it was Laurie Strode. It took forever for them to kill her off.
Yeah, but she was such. I mean,
Well, she was only.
She
only in
was
3
what?
movies.
Such a what?
Yeah, she was only in
She's-
3 movies.
I know, but I mean, her star power in terms of
Iconic character.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Thank you.
I mean that. She was huge in the '80s. Huge.
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 You ain't killing her off.
Number
Yeah.
1. Laurie Strode, number 1.
Okay. Yeah. What's your honorable mention, Mike?
It's Dr. Jekyll. I like stories of like the demon within kind of thing.
Yeah.
And struggling with that kind of thing.
I like it.
Yeah.
Mine would be the whole cast of Evolution.
The movie with David Duchovny?
Yep.
That's a great film.
The whole cast.
The whole cast.
That's not a horror movie.
Okay, then 8-Legged Freaks. The whole cast.
That's a good David Arquette.
David Arquette.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
I actually love that movie.
That's a good movie.
All right, guys, that is our show for this week. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at cultfilm_review, also on Twitter at cultfilm_review. Follow us on Facebook. You can follow Mike at
Mike Salucio on Twitter, and you can also not hear me, well, you can read me
Feel me.
at friendlyneighborhoodfilmmaking.com.
You can also send us your pics on our Facebook, Twitter, whatever.
Not pictures of yourself, but
Yeah,
pics,
send us
like
your pics.
Your
Yeah,
film
not your dicks.
send us
We
your,
were all thinking it.
send us
Mike
your dick
just said
pics
it.
on our Facebook.
No, don't say that.
Do not do that.
At all.
It's all
But
good.
send us your pics of movie choices you would like us to review. And we'll
Fan
review them.
pics.
Yeah.
Fan pics. We want fan pics, and we might send you a gift.
Yeah, we sent the first
We sent
fan pic.
Steven. He got himself a nice poster.
He did get
Steven,
it.
a nice
a
poster.
poster.
A nice poster. All right, guys, that's our show for this week. Join us next week. Have a good one.